The storm had finally passed, leaving the crystalline ice forests blanketed in a fragile silence that seemed to hold its breath. The team gathered at the edge of the core ruins, their breaths visible in the freezing air, mixed with the soft, crackling hum of distant, unseen energy sources. Dr. Elara Voss adjusted her goggles, eyes scanning the crystalline pillars rising like frozen sentinels from the ice-covered ground. The ruins, partially buried beneath layers of frost and time, shimmered with an unnatural glow, a testament to the advanced civilization that had once thrived here. Captain Rion Kessler stood at the forefront, his broad frame a reassuring presence as he scanned their surroundings with sharp, vigilant eyes. "Stay alert," he cautioned, voice low and steady. "We don't know what else this place might have left behind." Myra Thalon, her face streaked with grime and illuminated by the pulsating light of her handheld scanner, was already at work. "These readings, they're unlike anything I've seen," she murmured, fingers deftly manipulating the device. "Energy signatures, patterns. This technology is far beyond our own." The team moved forward cautiously, each step crunching softly on the crystalline ice. Dr. Jonas Reeve maintained a close watch on their physical condition, wary of the mental strain these ruins could impose. Lena Ortiz kept communication channels open, her fingers flying over the console in hopes of intercepting any transmissions or anomalies. As they reached the center of the ruins, they found themselves surrounded by towering crystalline structures, their facets reflecting and refracting light in mesmerizing displays. Embedded within the walls were intricate panels that pulsed with a soft, rhythmic glow. Elara approached one of the panels, her gloved hand hovering just above its surface. She could feel the subtle vibrations, as if the ruins themselves were alive, waiting. "Look at this," Mira said, pointing to a device nestled between the crystals. It was a complex apparatus, humming with a steady energy that seemed both alien and intimately connected to the environment around them. "If I can interface with this, we might unlock the secrets of how they controlled energy here." Elara nodded, a mixture of excitement and caution tightening her chest. "Do it, but be careful. We don't fully understand the risks." Myra's fingers danced over the device, eliciting a series of holographic schematics that floated in the frigid air. Symbols and diagrams revealed advanced energy manipulation techniques, environmental controls, and perhaps even a form of communication beyond their comprehension. The revelation was breathtaking, a civilization that had harnessed the planet's natural forces in harmony. Suddenly, a ripple passed through the crystalline walls. Light shifted and warped, creating patterns that seemed almost deliberate, almost sentient. The team froze, eyes wide. An eerie presence filled the chamber, a silent watcher manifesting through the very ice and light. Captain Kessler's voice cut through the tension. "Everyone, stay close. This place is responding to us." Instruments flickered and buzzed erratically as strange energy pulses swept through the ruins. The air crackled with a charged intensity, and the team felt a creeping unease, as if the ancient defenses were awakening once more. Elara's mind raced. The Ilum enigma isn't just a myth. It's this energy, this force protecting the knowledge buried here. We've triggered it. Mira glanced up from her device, eyes shining with a mix of fear and determination. "We can't back down now, but we have to understand it before it overwhelms us." The team braced themselves as the ruins seemed to come alive around them, shifting crystalline formations glowing with an otherworldly light, the very planet resisting their intrusion. Yet within this hostile embrace lay the promise of unparalleled discovery. Elara took a deep breath, steadying her nerves. "We push forward, together." This is the heart of the ruins. Whatever secrets Ilum holds, we're on the cusp of unveiling them. As they ventured deeper, the mysterious presence lingered, a constant reminder that their journey was as much a battle of wills as it was of survival. Test of human curiosity against the ancient forces guarding the past. The crystalline night on Ilum was eerily silent as the team gathered near the perimeter of the newly uncovered ruins. Dr. Illyra Voss stood at the center, her breath crystallizing in the frigid air, eyes scanning the frost-laden horizon. The faint glow of bioluminescent ice cast ghostly shadows across the jagged pillars that rose like ancient sentinels around them. An uneasy calm prevailed, but beneath it simmered the tension that had been building for days. Alara, the readings from the eastern sector don't add up. Lena Ortiz reported, her voice cutting through the cold night as she adjusted the small device strapped to her wrist. Signals are fluctuating, something's interfering with our comms. Alara frowned. Could it be another environmental anomaly? Lena shook her head. No, this feels deliberate, like someone's jamming us. A ripple of unease spread through the group. Captain Rion Kessler stepped forward, his scarred face set in a grim line. We need to secure all access points. No one moves without clearance. Mira Thalin crouched near a crystalline structure, her fingers deftly manipulating a small alien artifact she had recovered earlier. If someone's messing with our systems, she muttered, they're more involved than we thought. The team's formation tightened as Jonas Reeve checked over the medical supplies and observed the group for signs of stress. We can't afford distrust now, he warned. But the seeds of betrayal had already taken root. Hours later, as the team prepared to rest in their makeshift shelters, an alarm shattered the silence. The crystalline ice around them pulsed with an unsettling light, sharp shards humming ominously. Automated defense systems, dormant until now, roared to life. Intruder alert. A mechanical voice echoed eerily through their comm channels. Chaos erupted. Captain Kessler shouted orders, rallying the team to defensive positions. Get to cover. Protect the perimeter. Alara's heart pounded as she scanned the group, searching for answers amid the sudden violence. The attacks were precise, almost surgical, targeting their equipment and cutting off escape routes. How did they know we were here? Thomas Veer demanded, his voice tight with anger. Before Elora could respond, a chilling realization struck. Her someone had betrayed them from within. The team scrambled through the icy terrain, dodging shards of crystal that exploded like deadly stars around them. Mira's hands flew over her toolkit, trying to disable the alien devices, triggering the defenses. It's like they're reading our moves, she yelled over the cacophony. Lena's voice crackled through the comms, panic barely restrained. I'm trying to restore comms, but the jamming is too strong. We're isolated. Amid the turmoil, Ilara pulled aside Eli Marks, the navigator. Eli checked the logs, any irregular access or signals. He nodded grimly. There's a spike in activity from the supply depot earlier today, authorized access. Ilaros' mind raced. Sasha Kim, she whispered. Only she had clearance and the opportunity. The betrayal stung like a blow. Sasha, the reliable logistics coordinator, now a suspect. The thought was almost unbearable. Seeking answers, Ilara confronted Sasha in the dim glow of the command tent. The air was heavy with frost and accusation. Why? Ilara asked quietly, her eyes searching Sasha's face. Sasha's expression was a mixture of fear and defiance. You don't understand what's at stake. The Ilum enigma is not just a defense system, it's a warning. If we dig deeper, we risk unleashing something far worse. I had to stop us. Before Ilara could reply, the ground trembled. The Enigma's defenses intensified, crystalline spikes erupting from the ice, cutting off escape paths. Captain Kessler barked orders, "Fall back to the secondary shelter." Move. The team moved as one, though the fracture in their unity was palpable. Ilara's trust, once a foundation, now lay in ruins. Myra's frantic efforts paid off when she managed to disable one of the alien devices, granting them a brief reprieve. "We need more time," she gasped, wiping sweat and grease from her brow. Jonas tended to a wounded team member, his steady hands a rare comfort amid the chaos. "We can't let fear consume us," he said firmly. But fear was everywhere. Fear of the unknown, of betrayal, of death. As they regrouped, Ilara gathered the team. "We've been betrayed, yes. But we are not defeated. We must stand together or perish divided. The Ilum Enigma's defenses are a test one we must pass, not just with strength, but with trust." Her words hung in the frosty air, a fragile beacon amid the storm. The chapter closed on a tense note, the team battered but unbroken, facing not only the merciless planet but the fractures within themselves. The true challenge, the fight for survival and truth, was only beginning. The crystalline pillars of the ancient ruins glowed faintly in the dim light, their surfaces shimmering with an otherworldly iridescence. The team moved cautiously, every step echoing softly across the frozen floors, the silence punctuated only by the faint mechanical hum that seemed to emanate from deep within the ice. Dr. Ilara Voss led the way, her sharp eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of movement or hidden dangers. Behind her, Captain Rion Kessler remained vigilant, muscles tense, ready to react to any threat. "Stay alert," Kessler warned, his voice low but firm. "These defenses aren't going to give up without a fight." Mira Thallon adjusted her gloves, her face set with determination as she clutched her tools tightly. "I've never seen technology like this," she murmured, eyeing the crystalline constructs with a mix of fascination and wariness. "It's like the ice itself is alive." Ilara nodded, her breath forming small clouds in the frigid air. "That's exactly what we're here to figure out. The Enigma isn't just some myth, it's real, and it's defending its secrets." Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed through the chamber as a swarm of crystalline drones burst forth from alcoves hidden in the ice walls. Their bodies refracted the sparse light, casting kaleidoscopic patterns that danced menacingly across the ruins. Energy blasts sparked through the air, forcing the team to scatter behind pillars for cover. "Defensive positions," Kessler barked, drawing his weapon and taking aim. "Ilara, Myra, get to that control panel. We need to shut down their systems before they overwhelm us." Ilara exchanged a quick glance with Mira, then sprinted toward the panel embedded in the ice. The ancient console was covered in alien symbols and crystalline circuits that pulsed with an inner light. Her fingers flew over the controls, deciphering the complex interface with a mixture of awe and urgency. "This technology, it's centuries beyond anything we've encountered," she whispered. "If I can just bypass their security protocols." A sudden blast shattered nearby ice, sending shards scattering like deadly glass. Jonas Reeve called out from a corner, "We're taking hits. Keep moving." Mira worked alongside Ilara, connecting her portable devices to the panel, hacking into the alien systems with a mixture of instinct and genius. "Almost there," she said, her voice tense but steady. Outside, Kessler and the others held the line, their coordinated fire disrupting the drone's attacks. Lena Ortiz monitored communications, her fingers flying over her console as she intercepted fragmented signals that hinted at the ruins' deeper secrets. Minutes stretched like hours as Elara's efforts bore fruit. With a final keystroke, A cascade of light rippled through the ruins, the defense grid powering down in a brilliant display. The drones faltered, their energy dissipating into harmless crystalline dust. Suddenly, holographic images flickered to life in the center of the chamber, ghostly projections depicting the rise and fall of the lost civilization. Towering cities of crystal, advanced energy manipulation, and the creation of the Enigma as a guardian. The team stood in stunned silence, the weight of history pressing down on them. Elara's voice broke the reverence. "We've only just begun to understand what we've uncovered. But the Enigma won't let us leave easily. We need to prepare for what comes next." Outside the ruins, the planet's icy winds howled. A reminder that Ilum's mysteries were far from fully revealed, and the battle for survival was only escalating. The team's unity, resolve, and courage would be tested like never before as they confronted the true power of the Ilum Enigma. As Elara looked to her companions, a fierce determination burned in her eyes. This is more than a mission now. It's a fight for our lives and for the legacy of a civilization lost to time. The cold pressed in from all sides, but within the heart of the ruins, a new fire was kindling, one born of hope, knowledge, and the indomitable human spirit. The confrontation with the Enigma was far from over, and the path ahead was fraught with danger and discovery. The team braced themselves, knowing that every step forward would bring them closer to answers and to the edge of survival. The cold seeped into every corner of the ancient chamber, a biting presence that contrasted sharply with the luminous warmth, radiating from the alien device nestled within the crystalline ruins. Mira Thalen knelt before it, her fingers deftly tracing the pulsing lines of light that wove across its surface like veins of living energy. The device thrummed with a life of its own, its rhythmic pulses echoing faintly against the ice walls, creating a haunting symphony of otherworldly sound and light. "Steady, Mira, Elara." Voss's voice cut through the charged atmosphere, calm but laced with concern. She stood a few paces away, observing the delicate dance between the engineer and the artifact. "Remember what you told me, this technology is beyond our understanding. One wrong move could trigger something we can't control." Mira's eyes flicked up to meet Elara's, a mixture of excitement and anxiety flashing in their depths. "I know, Elara, but this is Mythic to everything. If we can harness even a fraction of this technology, it could change humanity's future." The chamber hummed louder as Myra's hands brushed a crystalline panel, activating a surge of energy that rippled through the ruins. The ice beneath them vibrated, resonating with the awakened power. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed a fracture, spreading silently through the frozen walls. Captain Rion Kessler strode in, his broad frame filling the entrance, eyes narrowed beneath his furrowed brow. "What did you just do?" His voice was firm, edged with urgency. Myra swallowed, fingers still poised on the device. I activated a dormant system. It responded immediately. The energy output is higher than expected." Jonas Reeve appeared beside Kessler, his tall figure tense. "That surge is destabilizing the structural integrity of the ruins. If it continues, we risk a collapse." Elara stepped forward, her analytical mind racing. "This isn't just about physical danger. The ancient defenses are waking up. We triggered their response. The Ilum Enigma is reacting to our intrusion more aggressively than before." Lena Ortiz, monitoring the comms from a nearby terminal, interrupted with urgency. "I'm picking up transmissions from Earth interference, but there's a message coming through. It sounds like a warning." The team gathered around the flickering screen, the faint voice crackling through static. The message was fragmented, but the tone clear: caution, retreat, preservation. Ilara's jaw tightened. We're at a crossroads. This technology is a treasure trove, but the cost of disturbing it might be catastrophic. We need to decide what to do next: push forward or pull back. The room fell into a heavy silence, the weight of the decision pressing on each member. Mira's gaze drifted back to the glowing device, her fingers itching to unlock its secrets despite the warnings. The promise of discovery warred with the reality of danger, and in that moment, the true price of knowledge became painfully clear. "We can't let fear dictate our actions," Mira finally said, voice trembling but resolute. "If we don't understand this technology, who will? We're the first to stand here in millennia. We have a responsibility." Kessler shook his head. "Responsibility also means knowing when to stop. If we lose control, we lose everything, including our lives." Ilara looked between them, the leader torn between the thirst for discovery and the instinct to protect her team. "We need a plan that balances both. Caution with curiosity. We can't afford another misstep." As the team debated, Myra's hands involuntarily reached out again, the device responding to her touch with a surge that sent a ripple of light cascading through the chamber. The ruins hummed louder, the Ilum Enigma's presence palpable in the charged air. Outside, the crystalline ice forests shimmered under the planet's pale sun, their beauty a stark reminder of the fragile balance between wonder and peril. The expedition's journey had crossed a threshold, one where every choice carried weighty consequences, and the boundary between survival and oblivion blurred. Ilara's voice broke through the tension. "We proceed, but on our terms, with respect for what we've uncovered and with eyes wide open to the cost." Mira nodded, swallowing her apprehension. "Agreed, but we must be ready for what comes next." The chamber pulsed with ancient energy as the team prepared to delve deeper, their resolve hardening against the icy backdrop. The price of knowledge was rising, and Ilum was watching. Mira sat alone beside the glowing artifact later that evening, the chamber bathed in soft hues of shifting light. Her hands trembled not from cold, but from the overwhelming power she sensed seeping from the device. It was more than technology. It was a force that challenged her understanding of physics, biology, even reality itself. She whispered into the stillness, "What are you trying to tell me?" The lights flickered, patterns shifting like a language just beyond comprehension. Mira's breath caught. The device seemed to respond, feeding her flashes of images, vast cities of crystal and light, beings transcending physical form, and a warning etched in symbols of caution. A sudden jolt coursed through her limbs, a surge of energy that left her gasping. She collapsed against the icy wall, eyes wide with both awe and terror. Jonas found her moments later, concern etched deep on his face. "Mira, you need to rest. This technology is affecting you more than we realized." She shook her head, determination burning in her eyes. "No, I have to understand it. If we don't control it, it'll control us." Ilara entered quietly, placing a steady hand on Mira's shoulder. "You're not alone in this. We'll face it together. But we must be careful. The Ilum Enigma isn't just a guardian, it's a test." Outside, the crystalline forest whispered with the cold wind, the planet holding its secrets close. Inside, the team wrestled with their own fears and hopes, caught between the allure of discovery and the shadow of sacrifice. The price of knowledge had never been clearer or more daunting. Ilara convened the team in the main tent, the atmosphere thick with urgency. Maps, datapads, and artifacts lay scattered across the table, the tangible fruits of their perilous journey. "We've uncovered enough to rewrite history," Ilara began, her voice steady but somber. But with that comes responsibility. The technology here is powerful, ancient, and not fully understood. Sharing it recklessly could trigger consequences beyond imagination. Captain Kessler nodded gravely. We need protocols, limits on what we expose, and safeguards for how it's studied. We can't let greed or ambition override caution. Mira, still recovering, added softly, and we must respect the intentions of the civilization that built this. They created the Ilum enigma to protect their legacy. We can't ignore their warnings. Jonas glanced around, eyes thoughtful. Our physical and mental health depends on how we handle this. The enigma's psychological effects are real. We need support systems in place. Lena, ever the optimist, smiled faintly. And we have to keep communication open. Earth needs to know what we're facing, but carefully. Transparency with discretion. The team's debate stretched into the night, a tapestry of ideas woven with threads of hope, fear, and determination. Each voice carried the weight of their experiences, each decision a step deeper into Ilum's enigmatic heart. As dawn broke over the frozen horizon, Elara felt a fragile hope take root. They had paid a heavy price for knowledge, but perhaps, with wisdom and unity, they could bear that burden and illuminate the dark corners of the cosmos. The expedition was far from over. The secrets of Ilum beckoned still, whispering promises and perils alike, and the team was ready to face them. The cavern trembled beneath their feet, a low rumble growing into a violent roar that echoed through the crystalline corridors. Ilara Voss's breath caught in her throat as shards of ice rained down, scattering across the floor like glass. The air was thick with cold and charged with the unstable energy of the alien technology humming erratically around them. Their time was running out. We have to move faster, Mira Thalon hissed, her fingers flying over the strange console embedded in the wall. Sparks sparked and fizzled as she manipulated the alien interface, her brow furrowed in fierce concentration. The device pulsed with a growing intensity, casting eerie blue light that danced across the team's exhausted faces. Captain Rion Kessler stood near the entrance, his broad frame rigid as his eyes scanned the shifting ice formations beyond. The crystalline structures seemed alive, pulsing and shimmering with the enigmatic power of the Ilum enigma. His grip tightened on his rifle, every muscle taut with vigilance. "We don't have much time," he said quietly, voice low but resolute. Ilara moved between her team members, her sharp features drawn tight with worry. The tension in the cramped chamber was palpable. Exhaustion tugged at their limbs, but the stakes were higher than ever. The ancient ruins around them were unstable. Retch, tremor, threatened to bury their discoveries forever. "What's the status?" Ilara demanded, locking eyes with Mira. "I'm close," Mira replied, voice trembling but steady. "If I can just override the defense protocols, we can access the central data core. It's risky, but it might give us the answers we came for." Jonas Reeve, pale and thin, adjusted his glasses nervously. "Risky is an understatement. These defenses have already taken a toll on us both physically and mentally. If we push too far, we may not all make it out." Lena Ortiz's fingers flew over her comms console, intercepting fragmented signals that seemed to resonate with the ruins themselves. "There's more out there, signals I haven't been able to decode yet, but time's running out for me to try." A new tremor shook the chamber violently, causing debris to rain down. Captain Kessler barked orders, positions, secure the perimeter. The team scrambled, each member assuming their roles with mechanical precision born of desperation. Ilara's mind raced. This was the moment where everything balanced on a knife's edge. To flee now meant abandoning the potential to unlock the profound legacy of an ancient civilization, but to stay could mean death. The chamber's walls began to glow with intensified light as the Ilum Enigma's automated defenses activated. Pulses of energy surged through the crystalline pillars, and the temperature plummeted further. Mira's hands worked faster, sweat mixing with the grime on her face. "Almost there," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the rising cacophony. Ilara approached her, placing a steadying hand on her shoulder. "You've got this, Myra. We're counting on you." Outside, the storm howled and the ice forests trembled, as if the planet itself protested their intrusion. Kessler's gaze never wavered from the shadows where shifting crystalline formations flickered ominously. A sudden explosion rocked the chamber, knocking them off their feet. The ceiling cracked, and a blinding light flooded the space as ancient machinery roared back to life. The team scrambled to their feet, every second now a desperate race. "Data core unlocked," Mira exclaimed, pulling her tools away as a holographic display erupted before them, revealing star charts, energy schematics, and cryptic writings. Ilara's eyes widened. This changes everything. But the victory was short-lived. The ground shook violently again, and the walls began to collapse. Kessler shouted, "We move now." The team gathered their equipment, securing the invaluable data drives. Arguments flared amid the chaos. Some wanted to push deeper. Others insisted on immediate retreat. Ilara raised her voice, cutting through the discord. "We came here for answers. We have them. Now we must survive to share them." Reluctantly, the group began their perilous exit, navigating treacherous tunnels as the ruins crumbled behind them. The Ilum Enigma's final defenses activated, and they faced harrowing traps and shifting ice that threatened to claim them. Mira paused, glancing back at the data console she had just accessed. "There's so much more here. So much we don't understand." Ilara nodded, her gaze steely. "One day, someone will come back. For now, our survival is the legacy we must protect." As they emerged into the frozen expanse, battered but alive, the first rays of Ilum's distant sun cast a fragile light over the crystalline ice forests. The mission was far from over, but the price paid had secured a bittersweet victory, and somewhere deep beneath the ice, the Ilum Enigma pulsed silently, waiting. The team's harrowing decision to escape with their newfound knowledge left them forever changed. Bonds forged in fire, now tempered by sacrifice, they lifted off from the frozen planet, carrying secrets that would ripple through humanity's understanding of the cosmos. Yet questions lingered. What had they truly unearthed? And what awaited future explorers brave enough to face the enigmas beneath Ilum's icy veil? The expedition's end marked not a conclusion, but an opening, a fragile promise that discovery and survival are forever entwined on the frontier of the unknown.